We'll talk about the IBFX Quick Scripts tool. Once you've downloaded the install file from the ibfx.com website, simply double click on the setup file and follow the on-screen instructions. The first screen you'll get is the welcome screen. Just click on next. Read the user license agreement and select I accept. Click on next. Select the destination folder. If you haven't installed the program in the default path, make sure to click on browse and point your install software to the right folder. Then click on install. And then click on finish. When the install is finished, just start the MT4 platform. Go to your navigator window here at the bottom left. Expand the scripts folder by clicking on the plus sign to the left and scroll down until you find IBFX Quick Buy, Quick Close Reverse, Quick Close All, and Quick Sell. Now, before you start using those scripts, you need to understand that there's no safety net with those scripts. What I mean is, if I just drag and drop the script on top of my chart, it's not going to ask me for anything, and as you can see, it just placed an order. It's not going to ask me for anything, it's just going to place the order automatically, right? So the quick buy is going to place a buy order. The quick sell obviously is going to place a short order. Quick close and reverse is going to close the current position and take the opposite side. So right now I've got a buy. So if I drag and drop this, it's going to close the buy, and then you see that it just placed a sell order. If I do it again, quick close reverse, is going to close the sell and place a buy order. So whatever it is that you have, it's just going to close that order, open up the opposite side. And then if I do quick close all, it's going to close the orders that are going right now. And then if I do IBFX quick sell, it's going to place a short order. So as you can see, the script's been created to execute quickly, and that's why you don't get any input. Let me do a quick close and reverse again. It's going to close the sell, opens up the buy. So because those scripts have been made to go quickly, it's not asking you for anything. However, you can control what it does by modifying the code. If you modify the code for one of the scripts, you need to modify it in all the scripts. So what I usually do is I usually open up all scripts at the same time. I can either right click here and select modify, or I can open up the meta editor manually and then open up each one of the files. Now I put a little note here, again reminding you, because these scripts are meant to execute fast, there's no user external inputs, so you need to make the changes to the settings on the scripts themselves and then compile them for it to work. The first thing you'll see is the magic number. Now, if you're not using another expert advisor, and if you're only trading using those scripts, the magic number is not very important. You can leave it to 0, or type in whatever number you want. But you need to make sure that each script is using the same magic number. So right now, if I look at all 4 scripts, the magic number is 915. The next option is the risk. Right now, when you place the quick buy script, for example, it's going to take 10% of your equity or balance and calculate how many lots you can trade based on that risk percentage. So right now it's using a money management. So you can obviously change this to 5% or 1%, and again, make sure you change it on all the scripts, not just the one script. Now, if you didn't want to use the risk percentage and you wanted to use a static amount of lots, you can scroll down to the code, and where it says double lots here, comment out this line here, which is calling a function. Just comment this out with 2 forward slashes and say, you know what, I always want to trade 0.01 lot, regardless. And then make sure to put a semicolon at the end. So I could hard code a specific amount of lots. And again, do the same thing everywhere. Here we don't have that option for the quick close all, but we do have that option for the quick buy. So again, comment this out and type in the amount of lots manually. And then same thing for the quick close and reverse. Just scroll down until you find lots right here, and then type in 0.001 semicolon, then comment this out. And then as you can see at the top, there's a little star. It means that the file hasn't been compiled. you need to make sure you compile the files before you try to use the scripts again. Okay? Now if I go back to the MetaTrader 4 platform and I apply the quick close reverse, instead of using 10%, which should give me about 9 lots and some, it's going to use 0.01. Alright? Let's go back to the code and see what other options you can control. You can control the stop loss by default and pips. So if I always wanted to use a 50 pip stop loss, I would type in manually 50. And you can also control the profit target. And then again, make sure you change this. So make sure you compile first, and make sure you change this on all the scripts. So if I do a quick buy and I want to stop loss at 50, now by default they're set to 0. 0 meaning we're not using a stop loss and a profit target, which is not recommended. And then here, same thing again. I'm going to change that to 50. So now if I use any of the scripts, so if I go back here and do a quick close reverse, here you can see my stop loss is not set and my profit target is not set. And if I do a quick close reverse, now I do have a profit target and a stop loss. And then some of the other options are slippage. By default it's set to 1 pip, but you can change that to anything you want. Here you can control whether or not your broker allows for mini lots, and IBFX offers mini lots, so that shouldn't be changed. Here you can change a commentary if you decide to, and you can control the font size and the font name. What happens is that sometimes, because the market is moving fast, an order is not going to be placed right away, but you don't know that because you're running a script. So what happens, and it's really quick, but what happens is if when I apply a script like the quick close reverse, at the top left there's a little message here that tells me what action is going on. And if that message stays there, for example quick close reverse, if it stays there, it means that the script is stuck in a loop. And that's usually going to happen when the market is moving fast. That will happen especially if you have a slippage set to 1. If I change the slippage to something a little larger, then it's going to be able to place the trade just fine. Let me change it to 10 here, and I'm going to change it to 10 here. Change it to 10 here. And 10 here, and every time I click and compile to make sure. And that's gonna make sure the order has a little more room to be placed, and you won't get those errors nearly as often. So one of the cool things you can do is set a hotkey. Instead of dragging and dropping the script on top of your chart for it to execute, you can right click on the script and select set hotkey. So right now I can say every time I press Control B, it's gonna buy, and then I can click on set. Every time I'm gonna press Control S, it's gonna sell. Every time I'm gonna press Control R, for example, it's gonna reverse, and every time I'm gonna say Control C, it's gonna close. Okay, and I'm gonna close this. Okay, so right now I've got a sell order, so if I do Control R, it should close the sell order and place a buy order. Now if I press Control C, it's gonna close all the orders. If I press Control B, it should open up a long order. Let me try that again. So hopefully you found this training video useful. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us through emails, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.